IIT. It's province of knowledge to speak, but the privilege of wisdom to listen. May I request our one of the chief guests, Mr. Gobinathan, Physics faculty, to share his knowledge with us.
Very good afternoon to everyone. Have a clear-cut understanding about the syllabus. That is the first main thing. Already we know that NEET as well as JEE examination, they will consider NCERTs. So it is purely based on NCERT. So we have to be very clear with our syllabus. And second thing, exam pattern. So we must know what is the kind of questions they will be asked in that examinations, and from where it will be asked. So we have to get some information from that, and also about marking scheme. So already we discussed a lot, right? So since it is a MCQ type question, we will have 4 options for that. Sir already discussed about that also, the risk factor which is involved in the MCQ type questions, right? So usually what we will do, if we are writing some subjective type examinations, now we will do what? We will struggle. If we doesn't know the answer, now we will struggle what to write and how to write. We doesn't know that. But when we are facing the questions like MCQ, we have one influence. We have 4 answers. So we can choose anyone. That kind of mindset will happen, right? So in that there is a negative marking scheme is there in JEE and NEET examination. So you have to keep it in mind. So you have to get a clear-cut information about marking schemes, syllabus, as well as the weightage of the portions. You must know that. Literally, we can say what? If we doesn't know these 3 things, it is like what? Poor தந்திரங்கள் தெரியாமையே போருக்கு போகிறதுக்கு சமம். ஷார்ட்டாக சொல்லணும், கேடயங்கள் வாள்கள் எதுவுமே இல்லை, எதிராளிக்கு எதிராக போய் நிற்கிறதுக்கு சமம். So literally this is the initial preparation step we must do that, right? So that is a thing I want to share with you. And second thing, already we have a mindset, right? So we have to follow a genuine reference books first of all. So as Sir told what? If we Google something, we will get many PDFs like that, right? So we should not rely on them. So we should follow a genuine reference book and material. So first of all, already we know that I already told you the NCERT is the base for all these kind of examinations, right? Okay. So first preparation material you should follow is exactly you should follow your NCERT syllabus. That is what I am telling. For a wellness, you can refer some other books like NCERT exemplar books, because it can give you some critical thinking abilities, hard style questions it will have. So you can refer. You must refer that exemplar books. Other than that, sir already intimated, you know. So for physics, some specific books are there written by H.C. Verma as well as D.C. Ponte. So you can refer that. But one thing you should follow that. If you are aspirant of this kind of examination, some of the books you can have it in internet, as well as you can have some other books. But try to avoid following more than 2 or 3 books. That is my suggestion. If you are following many books now, it will create some oscillation. So whether we need to follow this book or that book, we will have some wavering mind that. So don't do that. Just avoid it. Okay. And second, next thing, when we are trying for examination, someone will go for some centers. They will give some materials for you, or otherwise you can make your own materials. Whether it is okay, so I just recommend you to prepare your own customized notes, because somebody they will wrote that notes. It is very hard to understand and grasp all the concepts from that. If you are the author and you are writing the own content, it will be easy for you. That is why I am telling you follow what? Create a own customized notes for your preparation. That is the thing I want to share. And next thing, after doing all those things, we are well versed in syllabus as well as our marking schemes and all. You prepared the notes also. Okay, so that is an important thing. We should schedule our time first of all. So you are all now studying in 11th standard. So what you may think? So we have two years time, sir. After 2022 alone, we are going to write the what NEET or JEE examination. Why should we start preparation in that time? That is not good, right? Because I already our dignitaries what shared that the syllabus which contains 11th standard and 12th standard portions in it. That is the main thing. So you have to start your preparation from today itself. That is the thing. If you want to succeed now, right? So today itself. For that you need to plan a clear-cut schedule. And most important thing is not only making schedule is not enough. You have to follow that. Already as principals are told what you have to customize a schedule as per your own ability, first thing, and availability of time. That is the main thing. So you should not plan. That is it is very hard to follow. That is the thing. First thing you should keep in mind. Okay. Second thing, if you are doing better own notes now, you can spend more time on the topics which has higher weightage. You will know that if you are making the notes now, you will know mostly they will give importance for what. Some harder topics as well as frequently asked questions they will ask. So that is the weightage you can feel. So you can spend more time on high weightage points. That is why I can. So next thing, when we are doing your preparation, you have to take some key notes from that. So whether you are following already extracted notes or some textbooks, reference books, that is important to take key notes and note down the formulas. That is very important. Sir also already told, right? So physics, we will have some numerical problems as like mathematics also. And in the meantime, we have to get a clear information from the textbook, then only we can answer those kind of questions. Okay, right? So that is a thing. So first you should get formulas. So for physics purpose, what I am telling is, you have to create a formula sheet, separate formula sheet for physics alone. So what you have to do, when day by day you are getting some points and getting some formulas, now you have to make a note of it. You should not leave that topics as well as formulas just like that. I read, okay, it is enough. You should not do that. You have to make a note of that formula in a formula sheet. Why I am telling this? After preparation stages, you have to practice, right? As Sandavan told what? Practice make a man perfect. So we should practice well. So at that time, you can refer that formula sheet. That is a very important thing. You can refer. Whenever you are reading a question, you have to get the points and what formula we have to use. You can refer once by using your formula sheet. That is a key. Okay. So for that, you need to create a formula sheet, and then most importantly, you have to revise the contents again and again. It is not easy to understand all the concept at reading once. Okay. For that, we have to do frequent practice by doing mock tests. Okay. So let us come to our subject physics, right? So already principal sir and maths sir told, right, about the exam pattern. So in that particularly, I want to discuss the questionnaires from physics. So first thing. All the questions will be MCQ type, that we all know that. I already told you it has some failures too. So if we are doing in float now, we will get only 25% of correct answers in that. Unless until we are very strong in concept. So we should not do some flow parts. So that is the thing. So in 2021 year itself, they previous year they only 45 questions will be there, but this year they introduced each and every subject will have 50 questions, right? So in that, in part A we will have 35 questions. Mostly it will be from what a theoretical part or it may be numerical part or maybe for this part you have to attend all 35 numbers of question and there will be a negative marking for that, right? For each and every wrong answer you will get negative mark of 1, right? So you have to keep it in mind. And part B you will have 15 questions in NEET. 15 questions purely based on numerical type. But for this we don't have any negative marking for that. That is the thing. But you have to attend at least 10 questions for that. So totally 35 plus 10, 45 questions you will have. For every correct answers you will have 4 marks in it. Is it clear? Okay. So when we come to JEE, so there we will have 30 questions for all the subjects like physics, chemistry, mathematics. In that 20 will be direct questions that is not from numerical areas. Okay, we will have some options for that. For remaining 10 questions, we will not have any options, so you have to write numerical values. So that is why they won't award any negative marking for that. Okay, that is a question pattern. Okay, next. Okay, so already we will be familiar with the syllabus, right? So after that, what we have to do after knowing that exam pattern, syllabus and all, we must go through the previous year question papers and we have to find what are the most important topics and the important topics. You can see that only there are 2 columns. One is most important topic and important topic. There is no way for less important topic or not important topic. You should not leave anything. Literally we can say what? You have to study line by line the NCERT. That is the thing you must do. Because since it is a MCQ question, they may ask from each and every nook and corner of the book. That is the thing you must understand, right? So you should not leave any single line. In particular, we can say in NCERT books they will give some color boxes. You know, after finishing the lessons, they will give green boxes, yellow boxes, more to know. Lot of information will be there. I suggest you to study that also. For example, in 10th standard physics, in light lesson they will give about the combination of lenses. But it is not part of the syllabus, but it is given under the topic more to know. But there it is clearly indicated that what? The power of the lens is additive in nature. That is a very key important point. When we are coming to such kind of examination, they may ask if what will happen if we combine 2 kinds of lenses. Well, then what will be the power and what will be the nature? They can ask like that also, right? So that is why you should not leave any part from that book. Okay? In government schools, most of the teachers they will tell atta to atta padikkanum. Atta to atta means what? From starting of the page to any of the book. So you got to study that. That is the thing you have to do, right? So here for your information, I shared some topics which is most important chapters. You can see electronic devices, electrostatics here and all. You can see. So as like that, you have to divide the portions into 2 different areas. Okay. So by using this information, what you have to do? You have to give more emphasis for what? That most important topics, you have to spend more time on that topics. The previous year question paper, we came to know that in physics, we have mechanics, 35% of questions, it will be from mechanics. We all know that 11th standard studies, I already told you, we are all dealing with macroscopic physics in 11th, right? So it comes under 11th grade syllabus. So in that you will have 35% of weightage. And you can see heat and thermodynamics we are going to see in our later portion in volume 2, as well as simple harmonic movements and wave optics. It will have 7%. Mostly you can see that 35 plus 9 plus 7 you will have equal weightage for 11th and 12th. That is what I am telling you, right? We cannot skip any topics, any chapters from 11th book also. We have to study and we have to give equal importance for grade 11 as well as grade 12. Okay? Before explaining this, we need to know the typology of questions first of all, right? So mostly there will be 4 kinds of questions asked from for each and every subject. One is what? Theory or content based questions. While we are assessing the previous year asked questions and all, we can able to get what? In that 45 questions, you will have 15 to 20 questions in that kind. That is called as theory and content based questions, which is nothing but direct questions from NCERT books. We don't need to think, or we don't need to take too much time to answer that kind of questions, because you are already familiar with the NCERT book. So we have to use less time for that, which means already we know that totally 180 questions we will have, right? If we are taking NEET, for that how much hours we are having? What is the duration of examination? 2 or 3 hours. So then what will happen? We have to answer a question within 1 minute. So that should be our goal. So for 180 questions, you will have 180 minutes in there. So for all the questions will not have equal weightage as well as equal tendency. You have to spend more time on some questions. For some questions, by simply seeing that you can answer. So we have to take an average. So definitely we must answer a question less than a minute. That is the task before that, right? Before us. That is the thing we need to go. So this kind of questions, that theory based or content based questions, though it is already from NCERT books, we have to answer those questions less than half minute. That is my suggestion. If you save another half minute, you can spend for some other tedious questions. That's the thing, right? Okay, second, you have to concentrate on numerical problem. That is a very big burden for many of the students in physics as well as in mathematics. They are struggling with numerical problems. So for that, what I am telling is, you have to study the question, given question once. Definitely, I can tell, even I am also a student, right? So we cannot get any clue from that by simply studying a question once, right? So just try to get some information. Again, you have to study. By simply studying 2 times, definitely you can get a clue the question where it is asked, from where which portion it is asked. So you can get the clue. By using the clue and your understanding, you can able to answer. So first thing what you have to do is, you have to get fetch exactly what is the data given in the question paper. That is the first important thing you have to do when you are dealing with the numerical problems, right? So first you have to fetch what is given in the question paper. Okay, then you have to think about the formula. I already told you made on formula sheet, no. So from that you can get what will be the exact formula to be used for that particular question. Okay, after getting the information, you just relate all the terms and you can get, definitely you can get a clue in what way we can answer the question. That is what I am telling you, right? Definitely. For example, in a formula we are having some n number of variables. We can say like that, n number of variables we are having. Let us take an example, Ohm's law is equal to IR. In that, I and R is known now, we can able to find out V. That is, to use a particular formula, we need at least n minus 1 number of data in our hand, then we can find out the missing one. That is a thing. We know that, right? So, after getting all the information, just relate the fetched data with the relevant formula. You need to analyze whether any terms are missing or variables are missing. If that is missing now, you can relate that missing term with the again that fetched data from the question. There will be definitely a connectivity between those things. Okay, this is a way you have to approach the numerical based question. That is the thing. And moreover, before taking examination, we will do practice. Drilling practice we will do, right? So at that time itself, formula sheet will be very helpful to you. So what I am telling is, whenever you are preparing yourself for the examination, if you are solving a numerical problem, just bring the formula sheet in one hand and just deal the question paper with another. That is the thing I want to tell you. Then only you can get the clue. If this comes, this will be the formula. So we can analyze that. So as that, what I am telling, practice more, practice more, practice more. That is the only way to deal the numerical problems. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. It's really valuable suggestions and it's very interactive also. Excellence is a habit acquired by continuous improvement on the little things you do with the film. Now we are delighted to have an eminent and excellent personality, Dr. L.R. Shofin, former guest lecturer in Central University of Tamil Nadu, to share his knowledge with us.
Subject, what are the books we have to study for the NEET and JEE? These are all the books. So it's not, I won't say if you study all these books, you won't pass the NEET or JEE. But still I can give you an idea. Okay. So fundamental books, our board books. Say for example, you have to study the NCERT books, right? Physics, NCERT books you have to go through. Then Tamil Nadu State Council. Those books are also very fantastic nowadays. Do you know why? After 3 or 4 years back, there is a committee they formed with Professor Rita John. She's earlier she worked in Mother Teresa University, then moved to the Madras University. Then we have one expert from Central University of Tamil Nadu, Professor Ravindran. He is also one of the members in that editorial board. So they have revised the Tamil Nadu textbook. So they have made equivalent textbook for the NCERT. Even though if you found some topics very tough for you in NCERT, you can go back and check in the Tamil Nadu State Board book. It will be very nicely explained. So one of the base book is NCERT. Since you students are from the CBSE background, you have to read the NCERT. I will, after 10 slides, I may explain why you have to read the NCERT. If you are not reading the NCERT, you will lose some marks in the NEET. I will explain how it works. Then Tamil Nadu State Board book. Then you should have a reference book, right? Where they take from these text and all. There are some reference book. If you go to any chapter of your 11th or 12th textbook in the state board, then you will have a reference or bibliography. If you take an NCERT book, it will be in the front page. You will have some bibliography, right? Students, whether you will see or not? Yes. Yes. If it is, your answer is yes, you might have seen that book, Concepts of Physics, right? Okay. Then you should have a flavor of your exam, what exam you are going to write and what is your mindset. For that you should solve always the previous year question paper. Say for example, if it is NEET, I would prefer the MTG, or if it is a JEE, I would prefer Arigan, DC Pandya, or I would go for the VM Sharma. So we will see in detail what are all the books we have. For example, this is a NEET 2020 question. So the wave nature of electrons was experimentally verified by, where it is de Broglie. You can see that from that option itself you can see, right? So if you take that dual nature, you will have a couple of questions, right? One is from the photoelectric effect, another one NEET question from de Broglie hypothesis. So whether they will ask the hypothesis, they will have a problem, or they will you have to study the experimental details. If you next one, if you take the textbook, say for example, this is a chapter 11 CBSE textbook, chapter 11. There is a sentence next. So there is a first sentence after that title. The wave nature of electrons was first experimentally verified by Dr. C.J. Davidson and German. So it is purely taken from the textbook, right? So you don't need to use your brain at all. So if you read the textbook, if you have marked the important points, then you will have the answer. Very direct question. Mostly more than 5 questions are something like this. If you read the NCERT textbook, you can answer this. Okay, next one. Okay, so the answer is option is Davidson and German. You said de Broglie, right? Initially I supported you, but it is not true. De Broglie proposed the hypothesis. He said H by P, then he derived H by MB. then he derived h by root of 2me, then he derived h by root of 3kt, right? Likewise, there is 5 important formulas. If you are able to answer it, so that was a trap. So if you read the NCERT textbook, you may aware that it was found by experimentally first verified by Davidson and Jerner. So you don't need to use your brain at all. Just if you read the textbook, you may answer it. Next one. Okay. So another one question from the NEET. So which one of the following Bohr atom model is for which one the Bohr atom model is not valid? It's a very direct question. So again, the options are hydrogen atom, singly ionized helium atom, deuteron atom, singly ionized neon atom. These are all the options. Okay, then we will go to the book, textbook. If you take this chapter 12 atoms, there is a line. The Bohr atom model is applicable to hydrogenic atoms. It's very straightforward. So if you see what is this hydrogenic atoms, it is given as hydrogenic atoms are the atoms consisting of a nucleus with a positive charge, which has only one positive charge. We don't worry about the nucleus. It may have anything, whatever, maybe it's a proton number or a mass of a number of neutrons. I don't worry about it, but it should have only one electron in the orbit. That is our case. These are all the options. So you can have a hydrogen atom, or you take a helium atom and you can ionize it. You will have a singly ionized helium atom. That may be your choice. Otherwise, doubly ionized lithium. Lithium will have a 3 electron in its orbit, first orbit, which will have 2, and outside it will have another one electron. You take 2 electrons in the systems, you will have a hydrogen-like system. So this is option. So it's very direct question. Can I have the next one? So these are all the. So we won't worry about the proton number. It may be anything. For me, only it has to have only 1 electron in the orbit in the system. So the answer is hydrogen atom is correct, and singly ionized helium atom, which is in the textbook, that is also correct. Deuteron atom. So whether we don't know whether it is correct or not. Next slide will answer that. So if you take the isotopes of hydrogen, we know the hydrogen, we know the deuterium and tritium. If you make a water out of deuterium, what we will have? Heavy water, right? D2O, which we use in the nuclear reactors. So that is also a hydrogen-like atom. So that is also a correct statement, which having only 1 electron in the orbit. These 3 atoms, atoms having only 1 electron in the orbit. So that is also, if you have a hydrogen, deuterium, tritium, doubly ionized lithium, or singly ionized helium, that will be your answer. Can I have the next one? So Bohr model is applicable to the hydrogenic atoms. It's all hydrogen, isotopes of hydrogen. So this model is applicable to these 3. So that is also correct. So this is a simple explanation. If you take the neon, what we will have? Even though you ionize neon 1, if we remove 1 electron also, there are so many are in the orbits. So it's not a hydrogen-like atom. So that is your answer. So option is D. Then how it looks? Very complex. So the answer is very simple. Can I have the next one? So total energy of the system. It is also in the chapter 12. It's directly given as minus 13.6 by n square. So these are all direct answers. No need to worry or do any calculation at all. Say for example, past 2-3 questions we have discussed, all are direct questions. So it's from the textbook lines. So you have to study your textbook like a Bible. So that is very important for you guys. If you are not giving a proper importance to weightage to your textbook, if you are running behind your notes, or if you are running behind your material or academy, whatever it is, then you are the losers. The textbooks are very important. Next one. So option is B. We know very well. Then NEET 2019. Looks how it looks. Looks like a very conceptual question, right? But I can prove it. It is also taken from the textbook. If you read the textbook lines, you are able to answer this. What is the first statement? Excuse me, previous one. Pick the wrong statement in the context with a rainbow. You take a rainbow. What are the given 4 concepts? You just check with the concepts whether it is which one is right or wrong. Then what it says, when the light rays undergo 2 internal reflections. it never says total internal reflections. If you take your Tamil Nadu textbook, it says total internal reflections, which is wrong. It goes for 2 internal reflections. There is a huge difference between the total internal reflection and internal reflection. Total internal reflection, you won't lose the light, right? For the internal reflections, you may have an opportunity to choose the quality amount of light in the reflections. So it has 2 internal reflections in a water drop, secondary rainbow is formed. So where we can find the same statement. Next one. So if you check this figure caption, each figure will have a decent figure captions. If you check this, next one. Next one, maybe I didn't underline that. Okay, it's underlined. The secondary rainbow is formed by rays undergoing internal reflections twice in the drop, which is a direct answer, right? So the statement is very true. Next one. Then we will go for the next statement. The order of colors is reversed in the secondary rainbow. Yes, it is true. That is also there in the CBSE textbook. Can I have the next one? So next one. So it is written. The primary rainbow, further the order of the color is reversed. The statement is still in the textbook. Then go for the next statement. As the observer can see a rainbow when his front is towards the sun.
False, sir.
False. Okay. Whether we can find this statement in the textbook. If you are say it is false, we should not find this, right?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
It is false, sir.
So whether we can find this or not? No. But I can show you it is in the textbook. Whether it is right or wrong.
The statement is false.
Statement is false, okay.
They might have given
Whether the statement is present in the textbook or not.
Sir, they might have given that the sun will be behind us.
Yes. The answer is yes. You can check that. So where it is? Next one. So when he is back, so you should see the rain, something raining in front of you. The sun has to sit just backside. So here thus they have reversed the statement. One word they have reversed and they have formed the question, right? Okay. Then the next statement, obviously that will be the truth, right? So that is also from the textbook. So it will undergo dispersion, reflections, refractions inside the water drop, but which will never undergo total internal reflections, right? So say for example, if you are a state board student, if they are asking in your state board examination whether it has a total internal reflections in your rainbow, then you have to answer it yes, because in state board which is true, but conceptually which is not true. Okay, so based on the NCERT textbook and the concepts of physics, so that statement is not true. Okay, so next one. So the statement is here. The phenomenon is due to the combined effect of dispersions, reflections, refractions by the sunlight by spherical water. So these are some of the ideas what we you can see from each textbook, each question papers, how they formulate questions from your textbook, right? Still you can answer more than 5 questions. Say for example, more than 5 questions very decently in the physics subject. If you read your textbook properly, but you should have a practice of reading it line by line. That is a practice you should have, and you should repeatedly often revise that subject. Then you should have some basic also. If there is maybe some my students, 10 students or 11 students may be watching this in YouTube live. So just the information I want to pass on them is, say for example, I oftenly say that if you take a ray optics, 30% or 40% of syllabus is covered in your 10th. In that 40%, 30% is covered in the 8th standard. Likewise, the government or teaching community is trying to build a platform or foundation for you from the basics. So its foundation is very essential. That's why we do often concentrate on that CBSE 10th students. Then what is the other thing? Say for example, electricity. You don't have a practice of studying the electrostatics in your 9th or 8th or 11th. But you will have an opportunity to study this electrostatics in your plus 2. But the next unit is electricity, right? After the electrostatics, electricity. But you will study the electricity in the 10th, right? 10th standard you may be studying. 40% of things are covered over there. Say for example, till Ohm's law, they have covered the things, right? So it is very essential to study this fundamental, or you should go for these foundation courses. Then take the magnetism. if you take the magnetism for 2 units, there is a magnetic effects of current or something like this in the 10th standard, right? So state board students won't have that opportunity. They will be studying this magnetism in the 9th standard. So whether they are studying in the 10th or previous years, the government is trying to give a foundation, or the teaching people are trying to give the foundation for them. So you have to, if you are 9th or 10th students, still you have to study your subject properly. So in order to achieve more scores, or in order to qualify more examination, competitive examination in the 12th standard. So foundation is very important.
Gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos into order, confusion into clarity. It can turn a meal into a feast and a stronger or stranger into a friend. Gratitude makes sense of the past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. Now, I would like to call our one of colleagues, Mrs. Rani Chandra, to deliver a vote of thanks.
Good evening, one and all present here. It's my privilege to propose vote of thanks and acknowledgement of contribution to who really work hard behind the grand success of this event. A big thank you to our beloved principal, Teacher Krishnamooorthy Manivannan, for a motivational and an informative speech about NEET and IIT. And I am sure that our students got a clear-cut idea about NEET and IIT. Thank you, sir. I must mention my deep sense of appreciation to our respected maths teacher, Mr. MR.SAIPRASAD for his excellent explanation about how to crack IITs. I am very grateful to Mr. Gobinathan for his wonderful explanation about nuances of physics. It is very helpful for the students to score good in NEET and IIT. I would like to express my gratitude to Dr. Shofin, who have excellent coverage about physics in NEET and IIT. And my heartfelt thanks to the participants who make this event a grand success one. Finally, I like to thank our management for arranging a wonderful session for you people. And the final thanks to teaching and non-teaching staff who really work hard for a grand success. Thank you, Honourable.
Thank you, ma'am, for your token of gratitude.